Hey, it's Mark Messier again. One of the things I've noticed in the comments of my first two videos is just how skeptical investors are these days. So why should you trust me? Actually, you shouldn't. You don't know me, and you have no way of knowing whether or not I'm on the up and up. So I've made this video to put your mind at ease about the ideas and strategies I've introduced to you in this video series, and about BioTech Breakout Trader. I'm also going to read a really nice testimonial I received from a member in Texas that I think you'll find inspiring, all so that you can get the perspective of your fellow investors who have given me a try and discovered that I'm everything I say. So please stay tuned for that to discover if you're one of the lucky winners. Okay, with that said, let's hear from Puneet Gupta of Atlanta, Georgia, a student of mine who was able to quit his job after making more than $500,000 with my help in just a year, and now makes a great living full-time as a trader.
My name is Puneet. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm making this video to describe my experience with Mark Messiah's service. I've been trading for about a year and a half now. In the first few months of my trading, I pretty much lost a substantial portion of my money. And then I happened to come across Mark Messiah and Mike Harvilla in the early part of summer of last year, 2010. Mike used to run a research-oriented website for biotech traders, and Mark, he used to run a blog where he talked about his trades, his strategy. I followed these guys for a few weeks, and I really liked what they were doing. I could see a pattern in how they were, coming up with their trades, and for entry and exit and everything. And I could see how that pattern could be repeated over and over again for different companies if you have your research done correctly. So I decided to dip my toes, start trading in small positions. Had my first decent win in Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Made about $4,000. The best part about that trade was that the drug actually got rejected on its PDUFA date. But I still made money because I actually got out before the PDUFA date. And that's the entire concept behind what these guys are doing. And then after that, there was no looking back. I mean, I had next major win in CBRX, made about $21,000, and then had a big win in AMRN of about $50,000. And since then, I've traded AMRN a few times more, actually I think twice more. Made about a total of $150,000 in AMRN so far. AMRN, I found AMRN through Mike and Mark back late last summer when it was trading around 2.5. And as we know, it traded around $20 earlier in the year, in 2011. So I mean, I think what these guys are doing, it's pretty cool, and I'm not anywhere close to being too technical in the biotech, so I rely upon these guys to supply me the technical information behind the research, and these guys are very friendly too. That's what I like about them is, like, guys like me who don't have a lot of experience in biotechs, we try to do our own research through other sites, and if you come across any questions, all I have to do is just shoot an email to Mike or Mark, and they get back to me pretty soon, and then I complete my research, I take my positions, and I trade along these guys, and I've been making pretty good money. I'm actually pretty proud to say that my portfolio is about 400% up ever since I found these guys, and in terms of dollar amounts, I'm up about $500,000 in realized profits. So that's pretty cool, and that profit actually allowed me to quit my job a couple of months back, and then I've been focusing on things I really wanted to do. I'm working on a venture myself. I always wanted to do this venture, but I just never had the time or the money to actually get it done. And these trading profits have basically enabled me to do it. So I'm pretty excited, and I would really like to thank both Mike and Mark for the hard work and their help that they provide to all of us in the community. Thanks a lot, Mike and Mark. Thank you.
As you've seen, Puneet is living the dream, and I'm proud to have helped. Of course, you might not want to leave your job and trade stocks for a living like Puneet and I, but it sure brings peace of mind to know that you could if you had to. I also heard of Eric Liu of Silver Spring, Maryland, another student of mine with quite a dramatic story.
Hi, my name is Eric Liu. I have a good friend that I'll call Joe. His father had a lung failure and now he cannot work and is on oxygen full-time at home. Obviously, this caused some severe financial problems and they couldn't make ends meet. Joe worked 12 to 16 hours a day, every day, just to bring in more to cover the basic expenses. And his father kept pulling money out of his retirement, but it wasn't enough. I would loan money now and then to keep them afloat, but I had my own family to support. Eventually, they were 2 months overdue on their home loan and the bank gave notice of pending foreclosure. So I thought long and hard, what can I do to help? I knew about Mark and his track record, and he had gained my trust, so I decided to try his service to see if I could make some profits and help my friend. So I went all in. I used my individual, my joint, my IRA accounts, and I started trading with everything I had. I know it was crazy, but I had to try to do something for Joe and his family. I can't recall the trades, but every time I saw Mark trade, I would do the same. I followed like a shadow. I quickly saw the gains. I remember seeing consistent gains, but the best thing was only minor short-term losses and consistent growth. Around April 15th, I was heavy in AMRN thanks to Mark, and it gave me around 100% back in a couple of days. I took that money out of my account and I gave it to Joe's family. They paid the bills and the lenders disappeared. This was all because of Mark's help. And that's the story, a long one but true, about how Mark saved Joe's family, house, and a better quality of life. I have big thanks as well. Joe has already started to pay me back money I've loaned him. Now Joe is using Mark's service too. I've been around the investing block, but I couldn't have found a better guy willing to do the homework and share the wealth. Thanks a lot, Mark.
I love Eric's story, and it's a great example of what's possible with my service. Okay, my next testimonial comes from Tim Orr of Texas. Here's what Tim has to say. I retired to Texas from California in 2006 after selling our home in the California housing bubble. We bought a home, an income property in Texas, and liked the idea of no state income tax. What I didn't research well enough was the fact that we would pay $16,000 in property tax each year here. Our $100,000 stock portfolio was invested in dividend stocks and MLP oil pipeline stocks, which were solid investments, but just couldn't produce the 16% return we needed to pay for our property tax. I started searching for something better and happened by luck to stumble on Mark's site. I was always fascinated by biotech stocks, but far too afraid of the volatility to try to invest in these risky stocks. But what immediately caught my eye was the word method in his site. After reading everything I could on his site and several emails to Mark, I stuck my toe in the water with EXAS and AMRN. Since then, I trade only biotech stocks and have made over $100,000 since last August. We just returned from a cruise to the Bahamas and Key West, and several days before took ownership of a new hybrid RV. We're starting to plan our Europe cruise for next fall. I always felt things never really turn out as good as you think it will, but this is a dream come true. I don't know about you, but I love Tim's story. He tried conventional investing and it just didn't provide him with the income he needed. But with my formula, he was able to get the income he needed and it changed his life. I read every single comment and question on both video blogs and selected 3 that I thought were especially insightful. And the 3 winners of a free 1-year membership in BioTech Breakout Trader are Deanna S., David R., and Joey T. Congratulations to these 3 winners. However, even if you didn't win, It's important to note that the value of this price pales in comparison to the regular double and triple-digit profits you could make with my service. In fact, your first trade or two as a member of BioTech Breakout Trader are likely to pay for your membership in full and then some. Everything else is just gravy. And as I mentioned before, if I get the same 3,772.13% return over the next 2.5 years that I've gotten over the last 2.5, even a $10,000 investment would be worth $387,213. A return so high that the membership fee becomes no more than an afterthought. By the way, I'll be opening up membership slots to BioTech Breakout Trader tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. So please watch your email for the announcement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.